So somebody should tell me when I'm on live. Sunny, can you put a comment on? This is Robin Murez. I am on the historic Venice canals. My studio is out back. We will go there in a moment. Okay, I'm gonna... Hi, I think I'm on live. Yep, looks like it. So I'm Robin Murez, and this is on the Venice canals. I will introduce you to Astro. Let's see if I can aim down. Astro? Astro, yeah. And you can see the canals, I imagine. Not totally versed in this live streaming, but let's give it a try. So my studio is out back, but it's such a beautiful day on the canals, so I couldn't resist giving you a little bit of a tour. This is my cottage that I'm going to turn this around so you can see a bit of the cottage. It's quite beautiful. And normally it would be occupied, but this being these scary days of coronavirus, the guests have left, and I don't know that I'll have another one for a while. Oh, I'll show you something fun though. So this bed that I got through Craigslist actually is the bed that was on the Friends TV show. This was Rachel's bed. Jennifer Aniston, and I'm going to just show you a picture of that. I discovered it because I was watching Friends one night late to go to sleep by, and there it is. There's my bed with Rachel and Ross. So if anybody wants to come hide out for a month and enjoy Rachel's bed and the beautiful Venice canals, please do. And meanwhile, okay, we're walking to the back, so I use the back building, otherwise known as a garage, as my studio. But here in the backyard, I can show you some of my sculptures and describe some of what's going on. So I've been doing public art in Venice, bringing out stories of the history of Venice for several years, because they're so wonderful and colorful. And to me, I had my studio on Abbot Kinney for 13 years, and seeing the transformation when people started just thinking it was a place to go shopping was such a shame. So I wanted people to kind of remember and enjoy and renew some of the creativity that Abbot Kinney brought to Venice. So this is my Wheel of Fortune, and it was out on Abbot Kinney for several years. I need to get a new placement for it, but I'll just give it a spin, see what I get. Oh, well, that's not bad. I'll take that. Can you see? I got love. Yeah. Oops. There it is. So, and there's a story that goes with this and each of my sculptures, explaining kind of the history of Venice and who Abbot Kinney was and what he created and what a colorful, marvelous place this has always been. Here are a couple others that also have been out on Abbot Kinney. This one is the winged lion, which is the symbol of the Republic of Venice. Venice, Italy, you know, has these, the St. Mark's lion, the winged lion. And so this one tells you again about Venice and says, let's cheer for his creativity, Abbot Kinney's. This is a moire animation, and it actually kind of takes two hands since it's not installed in the ground. But this one I think is quite wonderful in that it tells the story of Abbot Kinney having bequeathed his home to his chauffeur and good friend, Irving Tabor. And Irving was black, and the house was on what was then a canal. Now it's Windward Circle. Blacks were not allowed to own on the canals. So Irving, using good ingenuity, cut the house in 3 parts and used donkeys and moved it over to where it remains today, which is on 6th near Santa Clarita. And so I think that's an interesting story about how things used to be segregated, but how Abbot Kinney, on the other hand, had a strong friendship with Irving. That my big heart was out in front of the elementary school on Abbot Kinney, Westminster Elementary, for a couple of years. I need to put it back. It kind of got a lot of play, and I hadn't initially made it to be out in public. Actually, my nephew, Zach, learned to weld by helping me weld the armature for that. That's where I taught him. So I've just walked out through my studio and to the back so that you can see how you would approach the portrait that I did. And oh, look at this beautiful sky we have. Oh, it's called Court D. It's the court that is behind Carroll Canal on the 412 side. I'm on the even side. And so as I'm going out, sorry, I'm going out of my Wi-Fi zone there. That's why it's reconnecting at moments. So these are the carousel animals that I'm working on now. So I didn't come to this as being like a carousel fanatic, as there are many, and I totally respect them. But I came to this, as you see, the other sculptures I've been doing are all these no-tech interactive sculptures that bring out stories of the history of Venice. So this is, to me, just another one. This is one that you'll be able to ride on. And here's the banner for it. And you'll notice that, so it's no-tech, it's bicycle propelled. One child will be able to pedal a bike, and 15 adults and children will be able to ride at a time. All of the animals and objects on the carousel bring out stories of the history of Venice. So I'm going to walk you through some of these elements. So this being bicycle propelled, I think we'll also need to have other bicycle machines out in Centennial Park. That's where it will go permanently. And carousels last like 100 years or more. It's right by the Venice Public Library on Venice Boulevard. So this is another fantastic bike machine, and it's a bicycle smoothie machine. So it's just wonderfully simple and ingenious, and all you do is pedal the bike. There's a piece under here that turns as the wheel turns, and it makes you blends your smoothie in no time at all. So that's quite a bit of fun. I think we could have several different kinds of machines. Oh, and here's a picture of the limbs. You see, they came over and we were making bicycle smoothies one day right here. And actually, this was a day when that's Emery making a spin art. So that was just a quick, easy little hookup we did. In this picture, you see Leo also there working with the limbs. And Leo is an engineer from SpaceX who's been volunteering on the Carousel project. And he helped me rig this spin art onto the bicycle. So all kinds of possibilities for bicycle machines. So I'm going to walk you through some of the animals. The first one I started carving so that everybody could see some of what it's about was the ostrich. And to me, it's just like so strange that there was an ostrich farm, and it tells a story of Abbot Kinney having owned all of the land that was south Santa Monica to Marina del Rey, and in those days there was a big ostrich farm there. So and then you'll notice that I've got Astro riding on the back, carved him in there. Astro being my dog. Oh, Astro. Yeah, there he is. When he rides on a bike with me, he wears goggles, and so I have him wearing goggles as he rides on the ostrich. You'll also see I carved into it the wreath of eucalyptus leaves, and that's because it was Abercrombie that brought eucalyptus to California. He thought they would be great for building houses, but they weren't. But to me, growing up in Los Angeles, I always think I have this association of eucalyptus with LA, and I love that smell. And so I thought that it's a very noteworthy thing that he brought the eucalyptus, so I think that we can tell that story too with the carousel. The second animal that I carved was, well, I'm going to show you the picture that it's based on. So Emery, whose picture I showed you a few minutes ago, when she was just 5 years old, she drew this picture of a pegacorn, otherwise known as a flying unicorn. And she knows her horses so well, and knows unicorns and pegacorns. Here's a picture of Emery riding the pegacorn. And actually I was thrilled. I finished it while they were out of the country, and when she came back, I had dressed it up and made the mane, and I was really happy that Emery says, I think, hey, Emery, are you on there? Are you watching? So Emery has said that she really loves the mane, and I think she had a brilliant name for the pegacorn. She named the pegacorn Ribbon. So I think we're on the same wavelength here. She also asked me to put like a little fairy, a little hidden fairy. So what I've done, she just kind of wanted it discreet. And also her name, Emery, is the name of a rock daisy, you know, daisies that grow in the rocks. So here we have the Emery daisies and some hidden fairies that are doing things that Emery likes to do. She is a great reader. She loves reading books. Here's flying with a heart with a paintbrush. She's quite the artist, as you saw. And there's several more hidden underneath that you can discover. And that brings out the story of all the magic that Abercrombie created and the original carousel that was here in Venice that had horses. So it's quite fantastic, isn't it? And don't you think it's time we have a carousel again? So, by the way, you can find out more and you can see pictures of my making the carousel if you go to my VeniceFlyingCarousel.com website, and it will give information. Most of the animals have actually been sponsored. The way the project is being funded is through the sponsorship monies for families that adopt the animals, and then I'm working pro bono, and the city has pledged that they will be pitching in. So let's hold them to it, right? This is going to be quite a fun attraction and wonderful for the whole community. This is the Caped Lioness, and this again is just a fantastic collaboration. So this is sponsored by or adopted by Joel Shapiro and Lori Shapiro. Joel, you know, created the Electric Lodge in Venice, and Lori is the rabbi for Open Temple. And when I was talking with, I'm showing you a picture of the symbol of the Republic of Venice, again, as I mentioned, is the winged lion. So this, instead of being just the winged lion, like Venice, Italy has had for centuries, and Abercrombie carved them on our capitals that are on windward at the beach. As I was talking with Harel, she's their older daughter. Harel said, well, could it be a girl lion? And could she be wearing a superhero cape and a tiara? And I thought, sure. So that's how we came about. So, I mean, isn't this like the perfect kind of contemporary and feminist twist to Abercrombie's vision and to what the Republic of Venice has always been? And then you'll notice Lori put in a request for 6-pointed stars. Golda and Harel very much like the hearts. And the dance slippers are because they're all a dancing family. Joel, though he's an MD, he started the Electric Lodge and he loves to dance. So that's how that one came about. And here we have the Tongva turtle. So, and I hope that the turtle family is tuning in. A few of these families found me at the Abbot Kinney Festival, and when they found me, Antonio just came up and he said, "Oh, we have to do this. This is going to be great for Venice." And that's exactly, I think, the right approach. This is really going to be a cool thing for Venice. So the Tongva turtle is based on the Native Americans who were here originally, were the Tongva Native Americans, and they have this wonderful story of the creation of California based on turtles. So that's why we have the turtle. And what we're going to do, though, is, so I asked Noble, what are he and his little brother Zenny's favorite toys? And Noble said, "Oh, well, Zenny loves a toy train. So here's the choo-choo." And then riding on the choo-choo, well, one of the things that they also really like is cooking. So you see the pot. And you can see a number of other things. When they came over to the studio, they brought some of their favorite things. Who can guess what this is? I think it's a really cool thing that they brought along. And it may take a little bit more thinking to decipher what it is. But each of these objects riding on the train bring out fun stories that make it special to the family and will make it special, I think, for us all. And this is a toucan that is the bird of Belize, and that's where their mom, Amal, is from Belize. Hey, and here are some neighbors. Say hi, guys. You're live.
Yes.
And I'll show you what I'm working on right now. So, we're going to have a little basketball action. So this is the snail that I'm now carving, and it was requested by Joëlle Dumas, the creator of the founding head mistress of the École Clairefontaine. And I put this kind of temporary feelers and possibility for a crown on top of its head. The snail will signify that it's best to learn things slowly. And so on the crown will be things like carved in, like a gondola, and maybe roses, and perhaps skateboard and roller skates, and things that kind of we in Venice have loved. Abbot Kinney, of course, had the gondolas, and things that you can stop and smell the roses, enjoy life a little more when it slows down a little bit. And let's see, I also want to just show you that I'm making t-shirts, and it's a project that you can do your own. So what I've done is I made up stamps that are for each of the carousel animals, and it's something actually, while everybody's locked in right now, you could do this kind of thing on your own at home. You might remember doing it with a potato, and you carve a potato to create whatever shape you like, cut it in half, and then carve away the parts you don't want to print, and then put paint on the top, and you just, here I'll show you. So this was the snail. I did it earlier, so I put the paint on with the brush, and then I just stamped it down, pick it up, and boom, it's done. I did the lettering too. So it's a project that, well, if anybody wants a t-shirt, you could text me or contact me, and maybe we can make it up and send it over to you in these crazy times. Once we're through this, though, I invite you to come make your own carousel t-shirt. Sonny, I've been after you. You need to come print your own t-shirt. Your response was, "But I don't silkscreen." I'm like, no. this is, again, the no-tech version, and I think the results are wonderful. We've had all different kinds of t-shirts come out of it, and each of them I think is quite nice. I also did a baseball cap. Oh, and here I'll just show you. This is a cover of Venice Living magazine that I was on recently, and I know that Jenica just came by to interview me. Oh, because thank you all very much. I've just been named a legendary woman artist of Venice. And I think that's why the article then is being done and why I'm here with you this evening. And I'm thrilled to have that honor. So a few things that I have on the table to show you are a lot of the background information that I have about Venice comes from Jeffrey Stanton's books. He's brilliant. And you can buy them. Actually, that was Jay that you saw across the way here with his son. And Jay's family has the Sidewalk Cafe up at the beach, and right next to it, the little bookstore. What is that called? Small World Books, is that right? They carry the Jeffrey Stanton's books, and they're brilliant. Uh-oh. If you're not familiar with them, go check them out. This would be a great thing to do during the holiday. Uh-oh. Seems like there's some problems there. Another thing that I've been looking at, but again, I don't come to this really from the world of carousels, and that is there's this whole world though of carousels, but what I do have to do is, as I'm creating the carousel animals, they are both, bringing out these stories and that, but also I have to make them in a way that can be ridden, will withstand the weight of humans, of adults, will withstand the elements, will last for 100 years. And I've been really lucky to have mentors that are just fantastic and generous. And I went up to Oregon and learned to carve wood. I had never carved wood before. I've done lots of sculpting and lots of materials. I'm sort of a junkie for learning how to work with different materials. But this is the first I've been doing with wood. And I'm kind of finding some of my own way. So I do it to a great extent the old-fashioned way, because I'm carving basswood. And but the people that I worked with in Oregon, they spend at least they've been spending 6 or 8 years carving each animal. What I'm showing you now these are the tools that I use for my initial carving. These are angle grinders. Don't try it at home. They're super powerful, and every moment that I'm using them, I just remind myself how dangerous they are. But I can do probably 10 or 100 times as much work in the same amount of time as if I were working with a hammer and chisel. And maybe if I was used to working with a hammer and chisel, I could develop the strength, and because I do know somebody who does, but he's been doing it for 40 years. And then this is some of my gear that I wear to protect myself. I protect myself from the dust. I created this little enclosure here using kind of an inexpensive, simple way. I got moving blankets and hung them around so it both collects the dust and the noise. And then I'll show you what I also work from. So I pull up pictures, and in this case I actually found a snail who was most generous in modeling for me. I was able to take pictures of this snail from all different angles. That was great. So those are a lot of the tools that I use. To do the detail work though, I use hand tools. And there's some comments coming through, but I think I'm still on for another few minutes, so I'm just going to keep going unless I'm told that I'm supposed to end. So these are the hand tools that I use to do all the detail work. The animals of the carousel are all going to be just varnished, so they'll be natural. But then everything else in the carousel is going to be full of lights and color and paintings. These are called the rounding board medallions, and I'm inviting other artists in Venice to each interpret a decade of Venice in their own style. So some might be figurative, other abstract, and again, just a really wonderful big public art piece that will be there for everybody to enjoy forever. The color of the tent is something that I totally invite everybody's suggestions for. I posted this image on my Instagram and Facebook page, so that's just Robin Murez. I think it's Robin Murez Venice Public Art on Instagram. You could download the picture, color it in, or just send over your suggestions of what colors you think the tent should be. It's going to be out there. It's going to be huge and beautiful and visible 24/7. So we want it to be something that is just radiant, everybody loves. Oh, you know, when I do these also, I come across these incredible facts. So did you know that a snail's mouth can contain over 25,000 teeth? Who knew? Also, the long feelers, these are their eyeballs at the end. And the short ones, those are their noses, their sense of smell. And then they have this little mouth. So when I was photographing this snail, it was totally reacting to me. And, you know, I wasn't a snail lover before, but now I think I am. I'll just mention some of the other animals that are coming up are a rocket ship, which actually I've been talking to Jay Goodfodder, who was just there across the way and is the owner of Sidewalk Cafe up at the beach. His dad originally created it. And the reason that I think we have to have, there are several reasons, we have to have a rocket ship on the Venice Flying Carousel. And primarily it's in honor of the father of science fiction, was Ray Bradbury, and he lived and worked much of his life in Venice. And then it turns out that one of the astronauts on Apollo mission was a Venice High graduate, and also that Jay's dad was also an engineer with on the Apollo mission. So we have any number of reasons. And won't it be fun to get to ride a rocket ship on a carousel? So in normal times, I would say you all should come over and print your own t-shirts for free. Whenever it's possible, let's do it. Be in touch with me and we'll set that up. I love just spreading the word and having people involved in whatever way you might want to be. Please join in. This is something that'll be in the community for everyone. Oh, I'll show you a couple final pictures of these are. This is Noble. He was just totally took to clay working on a turtle there, and it's perfect. Leilani and Weston were like the first to ever ride on any of the carousel animals. That was the ostrich. This is Susan and Paloma. They came to make t-shirts the other day. And Emery again. Oh, this is Robin Rudisill's grandbaby, Rudy. She's like so adorable. And she took a test drive on the turtle. And there's Golda. Golda is Harel's younger sister. So there we go. I think I am signing off. I'll say goodbye and hope you all have a great time through the rest of the evening. Bye-bye.